Well, it's 4 o'clock. I think we shall start. Thank you very much to all of those who came back and who've been with us since 9 o'clock this morning, and special welcome to all of those who joined us for our closing event for our student conference, which was about discussing with students from Iraq, Germany, and Austria about how to tackle employment crises of Iraq. Let me introduce you a little bit what our project, our cooperation between these three universities is about. If you could go to the next slide, please, Felix. We are an international partnership between three universities, TU Dortmund University, from Germany and Mosul University from Iraq started to form their partnership already in 2006. And with me moving to University of Graz last year, also Graz University in Austria joined this partnership. Our aims are to promote science, dialogue and reconciliation in Iraq and across countries, modernize education and promote internationalization, interdisciplinary and intercultural learning. And as one of our main events so far, we have organized 4 conferences that have already happened. More than 1,200 students have participated in those activities, and we have a growing network of lecturers who are volunteering to be supporters of our activities. While you were waiting for us to start, you saw a picture of our last big conference, which we did together at Duhok University, which was the biggest conference at that time, which was in presence. And this is how we would have hoped this activity also to take place since the beginning of the pandemic. We have conducted 2 online conferences already. The first one was a day to discuss the challenges to distance learning, especially in Iraq. And this one was a big conference which lasted over a course of 2 months, which was looking at asking at questions how to deal with the employment crisis in Iraq. For this conference, we developed a new concept, which was that we started in the middle of May with the first conference day, where we had experts invited giving us insights into the economic situation and the employment situation in Iraq. Maybe you can share the next slide, Felix, so that we can look at the program and what we did in the middle of May. We had 2 distinguished professors from Iraq giving us insights and sharing their expertise. We looked across to what is done in Africa to tackle similar problems. And we also had some students, which were graduates and students from Mosul University, sharing their success stories. From that, we were all inspired. And for over a month, we met at least 3 or 4 times in small teams. We had over 40 lecturers volunteering, meeting online over various facilities with more than 150 students, and discussing and reflecting on the first part of the conference and developing ideas. And the big challenge for these ideas was to develop ideas how unemployment crisis can be solved, but at the same time, the business would not just be for the financial sake, but could also be used to solve problems in the community, in the communities and the environments. If you could go to the next slide. We had a virtual conference space, which you can all access, which is a Miro, an online whiteboard, where we all documented our work over the last months. Every group had a small whiteboard there where they documented their work and organized their exchange, where all materials could be downloaded, where you could find the recordings of all our activities. And through using that virtual conference space, we did not feel that as much alone, because we could see what the other groups are doing, and which is now also serving as an archive for all our activities and ideas we have developed. Also, this was something new we did. Now we've all learned a little bit how to use one of the most prominent tools for online collaboration over, which is currently used also by many companies and businesses. This morning, we met at 10 o'clock Iraqi time, 9 o'clock German and Austrian time, and we discussed and reviewed and got the presentation from more than, I think it was more than 50 groups, 50 groups who presented their ideas on how to tackle unemployment in Iraq. More than about 92 students has presented. We have a big collection of more than 60 ideas collected, which related from issues to the environment, health sector, food sector, agricultural sector, and we closed this afternoon by discussing what the university could do to do a better job in that regard. What are we going to do in our closing conference today? I'll give the word to Dr. Anwar to welcome everyone and to introduce to the event. We are very happy and privileged to have the Vice President of Mosul University with us to greet us. Also, we have Professor Gruehn, who's the project leader at TU Dortmund University with us today to extend his greetings. We'll then have members of the steering committee reflecting on the conference theme and summarizing for everyone the main ideas that have been discussed this morning. And then we will give a lot of time for teachers and students to share and reflect their experiences with us. Dr. Anwar.
Thank you, Dr. Heike. شكرا جزيلا دكتورة هايك. الحقيقة نرحب بكم ترحيب خاص بالسيد المساعد رئيس الجامعة الأستاذ دكتور منير طه والسيد جروين مسؤول المشروع في جامعة دورتموند. التعاون بين الجامعات الثلاثة تيو دورتموند وجامعة غراتس وجامعة الموصل بدأ في عام 2016 ضمن مشروع يدعى ريسي. هذا كان في البداية الحقيقة مشروع للحوار والمصالحة، ولحد الآن تم إقامة 4 مؤتمرات من غير مؤتمرنا هذا وعدة ورش عمل، وبسبب الوباء إقامة مؤتمرين افتراضيين. في هذا المؤتمر قمنا بتطوير ومناقشة مفهوم جديد. المفهوم أو الموضوع الجديد هو البطالة، ولمدة شهر أكثر من 40 محاضر و150 طالب تم تطوير أفكار حول البطالة وإيجاد حلول لهذه المشكلة. وكان هناك فضاء للتحاور خلال شهر كامل ضمن برنامج ميرو. كان هناك هذا الفضاء بحيث بإمكان الطلاب والمحاضرين المشاركة في أي شيء يحبون يخلوه في هذا البرنامج واطلاع الجميع علينا. كانت هناك أيضا، وبذلك أصبح برنامج ميرو بمثابة أرشيف للمناقشات والطلبة وحضورهم وتفاعلهم. التقينا في هذا الصباح، بدأنا في هذا الصباح اليوم 19/6 الساعة 10 صباحا. الحقيقة أكثر من 50 مجموعة، وقدم 92 طالب برزنتيشن العرض مالهم، وكان هناك أكثر من 60 مقترح لحل مشكلة البطالة. الحلول كانت قسم منها يعني كلش ممتازة، وكانت هناك أفكار جيدة جدا. فعلا الشباب الطلبة يساهمون يتفاعلون. كان شيء مؤثر أنه التفاعل هذا. الآن راح نستمع إلى كلمة السيد المساعد لرئيس جامعة الموصل الأستاذ دكتور منير، وكذلك راح نستمع لكلمة السيد جروين من جامعة تيو دورتموند، وبعد ذلك راح يتكلمون أعضاء لجنة التوجيه الستيرنج كوميتي، ومن ثم أيضا سيعطى المجال لممثلين من الطلبة عددهم قليل يعني بحدود 5 أو 6، وكذلك من الأساتذة للتحدث بكلمات قصيرة عن الموضوع. وهناك جلسة تصوير في نهاية الجلسة هذا اليوم. Thank you. And Dr. Heike, the stage is yours.
Well, then I gladly introduce to you
Yeah.
our dear friend, without whom all our project would not be possible, Dr. Muneer, Vice President of Mosul University. We are honored to have you as a big supporter as our activity. The floor is yours.
Dear all, my friend, good afternoon. Guten Tag. أهلا وسهلا بكم جميعا. I am so glad to be with you in this visual event for this conference. Iraq, like other countries, is suffering from deep economic and political crisis. There are a great challenge, especially for young people, to get a job, build a career. Many young people decided to migrate to other countries in the hope of getting better opportunity abroad. Around 150 young academics from different backgrounds gathered to reflect on the nature of the origin of the ongoing crisis situation, discuss about possible further development, and learn about concept for taking action and develop idea on how to make positive contribution to addressing the employment crisis in Iraq. The University of Mosul and the German University Dortmund and the Austrian Graz University, and through the steering committee, have prepared for these, which we called them, prepared to this conference, which we called them RESI International Student Conference. Let us think about the employment crisis in Iraq. Mosul University students from various colleges, as well as students from other universities such as Al-Hamdaniya, Dawood, and Al-Noor College, and even Iraqi students at Austrian Graz University joined small group under the supervision of qualified professor from the University of Mosul and Dortmund and Graz University for about 1 month to unemployment, to discuss for unemployment in Iraq and propose solution to solve this problem. I would like to, behalf of the president of the university, I would like to thank all our colleagues from the University of Mosul steering committee, and also from the Dortmund University and the Graz University for this activity. This one-off activity which we are doing with a company, with Dortmund University since 3 years. Many thanks for Heike, which prepares everything to make this activity a success. And I would like to say many thanks for all people which are joined us for putting an idea or discussion about this very crisis in Iraq and even in other countries, which are hence the young people, and we try to find a solution through this discussion and suggestion from the young people themselves, and we can put it as idea and give it to local government or even to the national government in Baghdad to allow him to get a chance for get a solution for this crisis. Again, many thanks for all of you, and I am so happy to be with you in this event. Thank you. Dr. Heike.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muneer. Also, great suggestions, and nice to hear that the topic we discussed is also of great concern to the university leadership. I think we have really got some excellent minds together and a long list of great suggestions, and I think they're worth reviewing. thank you very much for your greetings. Now it's my honor to introduce to you Professor Dietwald Gruehn, who's our project leader at TU Dortmund University and a great supporter of all our cooperation. Professor Gruehn, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Heike Wendt, and I would like to welcome all of your colleagues and guests. I'm happy to be able to speak to you here. As you may know, from my professional background, I'm a professor of landscape ecology and landscape planning at the Department of Spatial Planning at TU Dortmund University. And with this respect, I have seen with great interest many interesting topics of the presentations of today. There are many aspects and many challenges and chances to be linked, ecology topics, spatial planning topics, beauty, aesthetic topics, and so on. And in my capacity as a project leader of the Rethink Science and Education project from the Dortmund side, I welcome all of you under the project title, which many of you know as the abbreviation RESI, the collaboration between Mosul University, TU Dortmund University, and University of Graz, as mentioned earlier, is framed. Usually, the main events of our collaborations are summer schools and student conferences, which take place 2 times a year in the University of Mosul and University of Dawood. These events in the past were very successful and were attended by up to 550 students, which were engaged in scientific exchange, debates, and the development of future ideas revolving around reconstruction and reconciliation in the Iraqi society. These ideas were developed in workshops and presented in a final conference that was held in the Student Center of University of Dawood. Now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it is unfortunately not possible to engage in such great events. We hope that the times will become better and we will be able to meet you all again personally. But up to now, it was not possible to meet, especially not face-to-face. Therefore, it was decided that we would try to get a little bit of the spirit of the RESI conference into an online format. With our online conference, let's reflect on the unemployment crisis in Iraq. We addressed a topic that we think is of outstanding relevance for young people all over the world, and especially in Iraq. You will probably not know, but also in Europe, we have certain regions, even in developed countries like Sweden, where young people unemployment rates is about 20% or 25%, even before Corona times. So that's really a challenging topic all over the world, not only in your region. My impression is that this event was a great success. I mentioned earlier that in the program, I thought there were many very interesting topics, which for each topic would be worth to think about, to make our own conference and to discuss these topics with other experts or broader experts than we were able to do here in this conference. More than 25 professors and lecturers from different scientific disciplines volunteered as workshop leaders, and the workshops were attended by about 150 students. Also here, different ideas and concepts were developed, not just questioning what the Iraqi government can do about the employment crisis, but also what you as university students and young academics can do to improve the situation and how the university may support you in this. So there's really a new field of activity to strive forward. I wish to thank you as professors, lecturers, and students for your valuable contributions and for making this event so successful. Especially, I would like to thank the steering committee, Professor Anwar Alfaidhi, Professor Saraa Salim Dawood, Professor Raed Alumnan, Professor Fawzi Jebrail, Professor Amal Zedan, Professor Heike Wendt, as well as Felix Sänger for the great organizational work. I also thank Professor Muneer Salim Taha, who has been such a great support for our event in his capacity as University of Mosul Vice President of Scientific Affairs. I hope you enjoyed the conference and still enjoy the conference, and I hope to meet you all again pretty soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Gruehn, for your nice work. I'd like to proceed in the program. As we all heard, there's a steering committee responsible for organizing all our events and also planning all our events and strategizing all our events. As something you might not know is that everyone in the steering committee is a volunteer. So people that we usually meet once a week for 2 to 3 hours to organize all these events online and to make sure. And I'm so honored to introduce to you Dr. Saraa, Dr. Amal, who will have the word now and who will also extend their greetings in the name of the steering committee members and also talk a little bit more about the conference theme from the perspective of the steering committee.
Thank you, Dr. أرحب بالجميع. اليوم تكملة العمل الذي استمر لمدة شهر والذي بدأ يوم 22/5/2021 حيث قام مجموعة من الأساتذة المتخصصين بتقديم دراسات عن مشكلة البطالة في العراق، وكانت دراساتهم تتعلق بتقديم العديد من المؤشرات والبيانات والمعلومات عن حجم البطالة في العراق وتقديم مقترحات عديدة لحل هذه المشكلة، وأيضاً بعض التجارب من جنوب أفريقيا. ومنذ انعقاد الجلسة الأولى من المؤتمر بدأ العمل بتشكيل فرق من التدريسين والطلبة، واليوم تم عرض ومناقشة مقترحات وأفكار الطلبة المشاركين وبإشراف التدريسيين من كافة الاختصاصات والجامعات في محافظتنا. وكان عملاً رائعاً يساهم طلبتنا على اختلاف اختصاصاتهم في التفكير وإعطاء مقترحات لمعالجة مشكلة سيواجهونها مستقبلاً. كان دور طلبتنا وحرصهم متميزاً في إنجاز هذا العمل والذي نصل نهايته هذا اليوم والذي نتمنى أن لا يكون نهاية عملنا، حيث نرى ضرورة تبني بعض هذه المشاريع والأفكار المقترحة من الطلبة والعمل بتنفيذها في الواقع، ونرى إمكانية اختيار من هذه المقترحات وتشكيل لجان من الجميع الذين اشتركوا بهذا العمل ليكونوا أساس في تطبيق هذه الأفكار ونقلها إلى الواقع لتكون نقطة بداية لحل مشكلة البطالة. أخيراً نأمل بدعم من جامعات محافظة نينوى وجامعة دورتموند الألمانية وغراز النمساوية ومنظمة الذات بنقل هذه الأفكار إلى حقائق ودعم لمشاريع الطلبة. نشكر زملائنا التدريسيين وطلبتنا الأعزاء الذين شاركوا بنجاح هذا المؤتمر. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Amal? Dr. Amal?
Yes, Dr. Anwar, I hear you and I'm here.
Okay. Can you say something in English, especially? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you translate for Dr. Saraa or I start beginning? At the beginning.
We had Dr. Saraa's talk on the slide in English. We saw it. We had the translation as to be available for us, so no need.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Dear colleagues from TU Dortmund, Graz University, I am very happy to be a part of these events. And I'm very grateful for all my colleagues who is organize this event and make it happen today. My statement is to answer for the question why it is important to discuss employing races with our students. I think it is very important because we are working to change the students' thinking, to help them to rebuild themselves and develop our society. Therefore, when we discuss this topic with them, we want to help them in this direction. Especially when I heard to some of our students today at the morning, the most of the graduates in Iraq, in our university and all of Iraq are in a different specialty, believe that the government should provide suitable job to opportunity to them. We must make them believe that job opportunities is not given or not given, but created. They must think how the created opportunity job that commensurate with their mental and their scientific capabilities. And they don't spend their time or lives waiting for the opportunity, it may not coming. We discuss this topic with our students also to make them think that the community needs their creative energy to rebuild this to rebuild our community. And let us work under the slogan taking an axe and go to collect firewood, and don't wait for anyone to give you a food because they may not give it to you. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saraa. Thank you very much, Dr. Amal. This conference was about students speaking up, getting together, collaborating, developing ideas on how to tackle the unemployment crisis in Iraq. This morning we met. We had over 92 students being involved in presentation and speeches, and we organized our work in different panels. We then felt, what can we do? What can we do to make sure also at the closing conference, the different ideas are mentioned and discussed. So different steering committees member now will summarize the different panels and discussions for you. And I gladly introduce Dr. Fawzi to introduce to us the panel number 1 and the ideas which have been presented here. As this is a conference, just one idea, as this is a conference where we thought if we cannot meet, we wanted to be a little bit interactive. You could also look at the chat. We have an online voting tool which we are using where you find all the different presentations. So if you go on the website, the best thing is you do it with your mobile phone and you type in the code. You will also see all the ideas written there, and you can move the button and click on submit and let us know which ideas are most appealing to you. So if you like, feel invited to also interact with us a little bit more in that regard. Dr. Fawzi, thank you very much for all your hard work. The work is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Heike. In the beginning, I welcome to Dr. Muneer Taha, Vice President of Mosul University. Also, the welcome go to Dr. Gruehn and Dr. Hassan, and for you, Dr. Heike, and also for Mr. Felix, who helped too much us in this conference. And actually, I will summarize the panel 1 and panel 3 as we decide for, because they are concentrated actually those two panel in the scientific work and scientific project. I was surprised in the morning when I see and heard the student spoke in deep project actually deal with the recycling of material or other type of a project which are too much big project actually and very developed project which can able to help the city and really those students with the help of their supervisor teacher they do their best and they do their effort to show us actually that they are very good and strong and clever to share the problem with the society and with the government of Iraq. Actually, we hear from the panel 1 and panel 3 about we have 15 groups. And in this 15 group, we have about 34 students and in supervising of about 28 teachers. They give to us those groups about 17 or more than 17 project and idea. Most of them, no need to give the details for you, just I will give you the view, the summarized of this project. They are most in recycling of different type of material, either recycling of can, either recycling of plastic, of rubber, of tires, of some ruins or the garbage of the material in the old city. Those projects also concentrated on type of producing some new material for the medical student in the Mosul University and make some centers for treatment the patient of cancer disease, especially from the physics department, which they give scan gamma knife and linear accelerator. Those students are working too much and too hard also to give us the they think in the refugees also in the camps, and they give us some idea how those persons in the refugees camps can able to share the society with their men and women, which they are a big quantity of persons are there, and how they can able to work in if they use it by the society, by the government, they will get from them good opportunity for also to destroy this problem of unemployment. Also, we have some project about the food and how to produce many type of food which are plant and agriculture in Mosul city. For example, olive, palm are can be also used for producing of many types of oil and soap and other things. All these projects actually are given by brave student and clever teacher, and we heard there, and we will make it as in the future we can able to make it as a report and give it to the presidency of Mosul University. Maybe it is useful because some of them they contain or they deal with the university, Mosul University, and the presidency, how it can able to share the borough or some center in the Mosul city, in the Mosul University, sorry, to use the expert person in different departments from the staff to help those unemployed graduate students. Thank you very much, and thanks before to the student, and thanks before also to the teacher who guide them, and thanks for you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fawzi. It's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Anwar, who is also the head of the RESI-Steering Committee. He had a hard job. The biggest panel this morning was panel 2. Dr. Anwar, welcome and thank you. Thank you for summarizing the discussion, which was a lot of different perspectives on how to understand the unemployment situation in Iraq.
Thank you, Dr. Heike. By the way, I always take the hard job. I don't know why. Actually, in the beginning, I will summarize in Arabic a few statements, and then I will do it in English. البانل الثاني الحقيقة نتحدث عن البطالة بشكل واضح، حدد أنواعها الطلاب. أكو بطالة هيكلية، أكو موسمية، وعدة أنواع. وعرفوا البطالة هي القدرة على العمل مع عدم توفر فرصة العمل. تفاجأنا بأنه نسبة 40% من اليد العاملة هي عاطلة، 80% من اليد العاملة هي لنساء، ومعظمهم هن معيلات لعوائلهن، كونهم يعني بأسباب الحروب أصبحت النساء هي المعيلة وهي عاطلة عن العمل، وهذه ظاهرة خطيرة. أيضا هناك تأشير واضح للخريجين، وهم أهم فئة من اليد العاملة الشابة هي أيضا عاطلة عن العمل. والحقيقة يعني معظم الطلاب الذين شاركوا ذكروا بأنه شهاداتهم الجامعية لم تكن كافية، وإنما هناك الحاجة إلى ورش عمل لتطوير مهاراتهم واكتساب خبرات. أيضا من الحلول التي قدمت هي الاهتمام بقطاع الزراعة، إنشاء مصرف مالي للمشاريع الصغيرة يقوم بجمع تبرعات أو مساعدات من الحكومة أو من المنظمات، وهذا المصرف مختص بمشاريع الصغيرة للشباب يقدمون مشاريعهم وتدرس من قبل لجان، وإذا كانت مناسبة يعطى الشخص اللي قدم المشروع صاحب المشروع قرض لبدء مشروعه، وهكذا. المصرف خاص لهذه الحالات فقط، وهو موجود في بنغلاديش ومعظم دول العالم الثالث، مصارف خاصة لهكذا مشاريع. الاعتماد على العمالة المحلية وليس الأجنبية. أيضا تم لاحظوا الطلاب هناك يعني زيادة في نسبة في النمو السكاني، وكان هناك إحصائية أنه بعد 25 سنة سيتضاعف سكان العراق اللي هي حاليا 40 مليون، بعد 25 سنة راح يصبحون 80 مليون. إذن تنظيم الإنجاب هو أيضا خطوة في السيطرة على الاقتصاد. تسهيل الاستثمار، تخفيض سن التقاعد، محاربة الفساد، تشجيع الصناعات الشعبية، ومنح القروض. والقطاع السياحي هو موجود لكن بحاجة إلى نقلة كبيرة. بناء شبكات نقل هي بين المحافظات مثل القطارات، خطوط النقل سوف يساعد بانخفاض يساعد بانتقال اليد العاملة بين المحافظات بسهولة ولا يؤثر على أزمة السكن. And now I will speak in English. First, I welcome again with the Vice President of University of Mosul, Dr. Muneer Salim Taha, and Mr. Gruehn, and the RESI group, and all the lecturers and students. First, in panel 2, which is panel 2 actually dealing with understanding and tackling unemployment. First, the students, most of the students define the unemployment in very clear and specified the type of unemployment, like structural unemployment and occasional unemployment, and etc. And define the unemployment, it's the ability of work without being any chance of work. We discovered that about 40% of the working hands are unemployment, 80% of them are women, and that is very dangerous statistic. And most of these women are supplying their families because of a lot of wars. Iraq suffered of wars, and lost the men who are responsible of supplying families, and now women trying to deal about this problem. Also, the graduated students, mostly more than 50,000 students each year, they graduate each year, and almost there is no opportunity for having jobs. And also the presentation spoke about that certificates, university certificates is not enough now for having a job. All sectors requiring jobs asking for experience, and experience cannot be obtained unless they have workshops and get into some competition for having some experience. And also they speak about lowering taxes, supporting women. Agriculture sector is very important, and producing a bank for small projects, as they did in Bangladesh and some third world countries. A small bank for a bank for small projects, when the youth could apply for a project, and the bank has people or committee to study if the project is promising, then they will give these youth people the loan, and the bank will have gifts from organization, or maybe from the governments or from private people, and in this way this bank will take the control for small projects. Also control birth or birth control, because Iraq is facing a very high speed of growing. For the next 25 years, the population of Iraq will double, and this is quite a problem. Investments must be there, good laws and rules for investments, and reducing the retiring age also will help in reducing unemployment level, and also support the mobility of workers by helping to establishment railroads or transporting lines between governorates will help the handy work or the workers to travel from each government or each governorate or each city to another, and without settling down. That will cause another problem, is to having a home at each governorate. So this will help also. And the tourism sector, it's there and available, but need a very big jump. Because we got a lot of good tourism sites. Thank you very much. This is the end of my summarizing of panel 2. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anwar. We already had Dr. Fawzi presenting also on the ideas of panel 3.
No, I will go to panel 4 if you want.
Panel 4.
I give it Dr. Heike.
Yes, you are more than
Yes,
welcome.
because I guide it also. So in panel 4, Also, we have about 10 groups and 10 projects. In this panel, we excuse to Dr. Hiba and Ma'an Yunus because we forget or we miss actually their first project, graphic design website, written or presented by Ibrahim Abdullah Yunus, which because of the internet problem in their homes, I think so we cannot able to hear from them, but we promise we will have them in the future if we have the time. Other project, we listen to them, and they are also a good project. One of them embossing on glassware, clothes, and wood. One student from group, engineering group, he make this success story for himself, he and his brother, and he tried to write or Arabic lines actually, and also imposing some shape, figures and other things on the glassware, on plates, on cups and clothes and wood. And he get a good job from this project, and he promised to make a training center in his shop to other people and help them, especially for those who are unemployment. And also we have a simple idea and a very nice idea from other student. He tried to take his mobile or a simple photograph, and he go to different places and take photo, and also go with the tourism buses and get the photograph for them, and try to get also a good job from this idea. Also, we have 3 ideas or 4 ideas from education college about the coffee shop project and sweet meat project and Park project. This project, 3 projects, are actually they given by education department, and they are very nice because they will, for example, the coffee shop project will be established in inside the Mosul University, and can able to provide his duty and his product to the student and the teacher and other department easily and very cheap, and will help them in copy their books or thesis or other things if they need. And also they have a sweet meats project for making sweet under the help of some healthy manner, actually, because they will not use too much sugar, for example, and to make it a diet one, and to package in a good way and to sell it for the Mosul city persons or people cheap, and by also delivery, and this is also provide many jobs for the person. Also, they have acute park project for providing some acute product for a park, sorry, for the student inside the university and in the city. Also, we have a pink surface project given by Dr. Saraa and Dr. Muhannad, which concerned with using the taxi for ladies and driven by ladies, and this is safe and for the families and for the ladies in the Mosul. and can be give it, for example, pick color, and it will be distinguished than the other taxi. And in the end, we hear from Fahad his success story, how he try after ISIS to work and to find some business in computer science, and no one helped him, but he helped himself, and he write or he learned the work good, and he learned more than 4 languages in the computer science. And then he start his own work, and he get a good job from this business. Thank you for the student, thank you for the teacher, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fawzi. Then it's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Raed, who was the leader for panel number 5. Panel number 5 was now looking at the role of the universities in Iraq, and what universities can do to smoothen the transition from university to the labor market. So Dr. Muneer, this is your time to sharpen your pen. So excellent ideas from many young people from your university in what could be done to improve in that regard. Dr. Raed, yes. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Heike. In the beginning, I welcome to Dr. Muneer, the Vice President, also Dr. Gruehn, the leader of RESI, and our special guest, Dr. Hassan. Actually, panel 5 student focusing in the role of university. The big question, how university support student and graduate to creating employment. Most students emerge from the higher education with the solid academic grasp of the disciplines, but they are not demand work ready. This is clearly for impacting employment who may higher education through the various schemes. Higher education also is not keeping pace with the ever-changing job market. In the other world, when students are studying for this degree or postgraduate for the courses, the content they are of the learning is not necessary for reflective of the needed employee. This comes from defining a job. It is important that university play their role to supporting a student to become career ready. How can do that? Actually, student focus in deeper solution in this panel. This panel, we have 9 presentation, 7 of it from engineering, especially in architecture engineering, 1 from the science, I think chemical science, and the 1 from the economic. How can how can university support the student through the first one through the qualifying and recruiting center, qualifying university student to upgrade their scientific and technical capabilities and supporting them through qualifying and training program and scheme to be qualified to work in the public and the private sector companies. The second point that student focus in it is related with the strengthening link with the community. There is a real need to strengthen with community context. This makes the university courses more relevant to the real world. Real world, I mean in the practical world, the job world. In that sense, it is provided student with the understanding of the world around them. The opportunities available to potentially help and create better information for the discussion and regarding the career in the chosen sector. Also, it is very important point, how can the hosting workshop during the term and not as a volunteer for this workshop. It maybe this workshop become a part of the coursing of our term in the university. To have following on the conservation and relationship can be through hosting a free workshop within organization in the local community. Our workshop is very successful example for that. Also, we can also student the very important point, how can develop the summer training. All college we have this kind of facilities in phases for the student also seriously involved in the field of the work through short time courses through the university to have pressure. I think this is very focusing or very specific point. It is around the general goal of our conference and really student and lecture behind him put the relative and creative solution to how can the university support them to create a job. Thank you. ممكن يعني أنضيف الجزء بالعربي للبقية. يعني الطلاب في هذا البانل. العفو دكتور، ممكن تتحدث لو أترجم اللي حكيتونه؟
ما أعرف دكتور هايك يعني.
Dr. Muneer, appreciating comments are always welcome.
Yeah, I need to comment on this. Thank you, Dr. Raed, for this presentation about this panel. And this is a good chance for me to speak with my student, if I think they are in the visual meeting. Dr. Anwar,
موجودين.
The student is present. Dr. Heike, can I speak with them some Arabic, then I will return to English?
Yes, of course, you are more than welcome.
Yeah. أعزائي الطلبة، تعرفون أنه الجامعات في العالم دورها هو أنه تنطي تعليم للطلبة وأيضا تنطي شهادات للطلبة، وهي ليست مراكز طبعا إلى العمل. معظم طلبتنا الأعزاء يعتقدون أن الجامعة يجب أن توفر لهم الجوب أو توفر لهم وظيفة، لكن هذا الشيء غير صحيح تماما. الجامعة تعطيك مجال للحياة، تنطيك بداية الطريق، وأنت يجب عليك أن تتبع هذا الطريق. مع ذلك الجامعة الموصل بالذات كانت من أولى الجامعات العراقية اللي وضعت أمام كيفية تهيئة الفرص للطلبة للعمل، ولذلك تم إنشاء ما يسمى بالCDC سنتر، وهو مركز موجود في الجامعة وموجود في كل الكليات. وظيفة هذا المركز اللي هو مركز التأهيل والتوظيف هو إيجاد فرص للطلبة للعمل. استطاعت جامعة الموصل أن تتفق مع العديد من المنظمات، ومن ضمنها طبعا إحنا هذا البرنامج اللي معاكم وبرامج أخرى مع فرنسا ومع هولندا لإيجاد فرص للعمل. لكن ما يؤسفني يعني so sorry to tell you that فعلا أنا آسف جدا أن أقول أنه معظم طلبتنا هم يعني طلبة يعتمدون على آبائهم، يعتمدون على عوائلهم في إيجاد يعني كيف أنه يصرفون، لازم العائلة هي تصرف على الطالب. واحدة من المشاريع اللي نفذناها واللي أنا متأسف جدا عليها هي مشروع كبير جدا مع طلبة كلية الزراعة. خريجي كلية الزراعة استطعنا أن نبني ما يقارب 96 بيت بلاستيكي في الجامعة، ونعطي كل الأمور للطالب، يعني من بداية البذر إلى أن يخرج الثمر. والثمر هذا نعلمه كيف يزرعوه في المناطق الجافة طبعا اللي هي قليلة الماء، وننطيه فرصة حتى يسوق هذا المنتج ويكون لحسابه. كل هذه البيوت مع الأسف طبعا إذا تشوفون تدخلون من باب القصور الرئاسية تشوفوها أصبحت بدون رعاية. مع العلم إحنا انطينا كل بيت 3 طلبة أشركناهم، وكنا نتوقع أنه يكون عندهم دافع لأنه يحسنون وضعهم المعاشي، ولكن تم إهمال هذا المشروع. والآن فقط هو 2 أو 3 بيوت تعمل والباقي تركت وأهمل. اللي أريد أقوله لطلبتي الأعزاء أبناء الطلبة، الفرص لا تأتيك، إنما يجب أنت أن تصنع الفرصة لنفسك، ولذلك لا تعتمد على العائلة، اعتمد على نفسك، ولا تفكر بالوظيفة الحكومية كأساس، إنما اجعل مستقبلك بيدك. I speak with my student, Dr. Heike, about the some real thing that occurs in the University of Mosul. I tell them that university is a state that they give you a teaching and give you a document to allow you to start your life. They teach, and it is not center for working or to get job for you. Anywhere, Mosul University feel with this crisis, and they build a center called them CDs Center, and it is in the university is the main one, and in each college there are one center. This center his job to get a chance for the student to get how to start their life after they finish their study. They learn him how to write CV, learn them how to get a job. And one of project, we have a lot of project with Holland, France, and even with the United States to get how to get a job for these students. One of them is to build a house. This is a plastic house in the university, and each house we give it to 3 students in they finish their study in agriculture college, to allow him how to grow this planning and to our fruit, and then sell it in the local market, and they get the money for them. And we spend a lot of committee with them, a lot of workshop. We learn him everything, and we give him everything. And unfortunately, and I am sad to tell this true, that all of this house not working now. The student not work exactly with this, and they leave it, except 2 or 3 house starting growing the fruit and sell it. I feel sad when I look to these houses, and before that, I hope that we'll get a very good chance for the student of agriculture. What I feel for my student, they are dependable on their family. This is not a present in Syria or in Germany. I live sometime in Germany, and I found that a student, they study and work. They depended on themselves. In our situation, the student depended on their family. They spend everything for them.
صوت رجال الصوت.
الو
صوت حسام. نعم اسف دكتور.
الو. For our student, they depended on their family. They are not dependent on themselves. This is the first problem. The second problem, all the students, they think after they graduated from the university, they needed a job, but this job from the government. And that is impossible, even in Germany or even in Syria. It can be not, we have a lot of students, and every year we are graduated thousands of students, and no government can get a job for all these students. They needed to get their job by themselves. They needed to work hardly to get a job, and to get themselves to support themselves. This is our very big problem in Iraq, because the students think that the family should be responsible for them. For the summer training, we have in all colleges summer training, and because the COVID-19, it may be stopped for 2 years. And in this year, we have a contract with many companies work in Mosul for internet and for electricity and for other company to get a chance for our student to work in this company and to get a certificate from them. Again, I say many thanks for you give me this opportunity to speak with my student, which I feel they are my son. And when I speak with them, I always thinking I speak with my son, not with our student. Many thanks for you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muneer, for your honest and open words. I think it's very encouraging to hear that Mosul University leadership has also seen the urgency and the seriousness of this topic. And I'm very glad to hear that there are already quite some initiatives, which are also building into the ideas and which might be good starting points also of what has been discussed today. Thank you very much for your open words and your honesty in that regard. We are heading towards the discussion. We had, as we said before, we had about 25 lecturer teams, about 50 lecturers from various contexts involved. We had a colleague joining us from India. We had another colleague joining us from Tanzania, colleagues from Germany, colleagues from Austria volunteering. Also and foremost, colleagues from Mosul University, also from Al-Hatba University. Thank you very much for spending your time in the afternoon after all your other professional duties in organizing discussion groups for students. Students will have the last words of this conference in plenty of time. And before that, I would like to invite some of our colleagues and to share their experiences, which they had as lecturers of these conferences, and also would like them to contribute to the discussion. I invite Dr. Saad.
Thank you, Dr. Heike, for inviting me to talk in this conference. First of all, I must say thank you very much to all the staff from you and Dr. Anwar and Dr. Fawzi, Dr. Saraa. They all did their hard work, and I think this conference is very successful now for myself. My idea in helping students after their graduation to enroll in different businesses in their life. Some students gave great ideas, but there is some limitation. There is some limitation that can stop them from go ahead and continue their projects to make it real for life. First of all, the one limitation is the money talk. Most of the people in Mosul, or maybe even in Iraq, in all Iraq, they have limited amount of money. So we need to make a conference for the investor, for the rich people in Mosul or in Iraq, so to give them the safety and to make them feel honest about their money, because when they spend the money, they need a profit. They want to profit. These students, they might succeed or they fail in their future. So now we have to look for a program. Next program, I think for you to make is how to give the investors, how can they be how they can be safe about their spending, how they make themselves safe on how spending the money. Some of the other limitation, the rules, the law, it will prevent a lot of students from working, because as you see in this conference, in these panels, there are some people looking forward to have a regulation that can help them, like banking, support from the banks, the rules from the banks, and sometimes even if the work need factories, big factories, which government supposed to build these factories for the student to work. Some people, they can do their own offices and their own jobs, like the one who said they can make food, they can make sweet, they can cultivate. Even the cultivation, they require the land to do it. They don't have the land. So now I encourage those students to carry on doing their business. My project, which I give to the student with Mr. Suhaib, the S2 project. One of them is using the ruins of the old city of Mosul. This project actually require about $50,000 American dollar to make their dream become truth. They need machinery. This machinery only built and made in Germany. So who will buy them for them? Who will buy it for them? They need help. Second, the people who actually worked on the radiation, the physics student, they have a very good attitude in making these businesses, because it's related to health. Now in Mosul, treatment of cancer need to travel abroad. The patient, they need to travel abroad, or even to outside the Mosul city. They need to spend a lot of money. Most of the people here, they cannot afford it. So they die from this disease. In Mosul University, there is a center. We've trained in the past, we've trained some doctors, some specialists in America, in Japan, in Turkey, how to use the gamma machine, how to use the linear accelerator, how to use the CT scan laser, but actually they left the job now. They either retired or changed their position. Now, why we don't have this preparation before? Now we can use these students to train in the future, so they can operate these machines in Mosul, especially in Mosul University, in the Center of Medical Studies, or even in the town with other doctors, with other places where they can use these machineries. The physics students are very suitable for these machines. Actually, Dr. Anwar, he knew about this. He knew about these centers. Dr. Muneer, I think also he knew about this center. Why it is not operated until now? Our people in Mosul, they need it. They need these sort of machineries. I think they exist in Mosul. Whether they are working or not, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't have any idea about it. So now, for other students, project from Saraa, I think about retirement or the split of daily. This is the university also, the daily studies and the evening studies. Exactly, if they split the staff, they can employ another staff in these places. Again, there is a lot of jobs, a lot of ideas the students give. I support them for that. I really support them for that. I will carry on with my groups. I will carry on from now until their graduation. I will help them how they can stay on the track and they follow their dream to make it a truth. Thank you very much, Dr. Heike. And thank you very much for the Felix as well. Thank you very much for your support and for your help.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saad, for your very considerate feedback to the group. This is highly appreciated. I think this will give a lot of groups opportunities to think forward on their ideas. I would now like to introduce to you Ms. Ravia, who's also be one of the lecturers of the team. Welcome.
Thank you, our beloved Dr. Heike. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm so glad to be part of this great event again. I would like to highlight some important points from our point of view from engineering conference focused on a very, very important subject addressing the unemployment. And I think during our meeting with our students, we found that they are so worried about that, and they carry like a heavy burden. So they thinking about getting a job, how to be employed in the future, how they can find a job from the first year of graduation. So they actually discuss a very, very important point. First of all, during the presentation of our great lecturer, like Dr. Muneer, he highlighted a very, very specific and critical point that employment started from the parents. How much the parents play a role to encourage their their son or daughter to and push them forward to find a job from early age, let's say during the teen. Besides, how much the university support the student. We have a summer training during the third stage, I think, in all the colleges, the third stage. So how we can use that summer training to find a future job for our students. Besides, after graduation or during the last year of study, the project of graduation, how we can link it, how we can promote it, how we can expose it and make it useful to find a job for the student. Maybe linking with tenders, maybe with the companies, maybe participating with competitions. We have to support our students. The parents have to support their son and their daughters. And after graduation, actually the field of employment is somehow limited to be a governmental. We have lack of private institutions, private work that students can be somehow use his knowledge and be qualified to use his knowledge on that institution. For example, maybe from physics department, the student graduate, he need to work in an institution, maybe not necessarily governmental. I said maybe it's private, and he will do his specialization. So this is the problem, that it's limited for governmental. We have lack of private sectors support, and the governmental support also, there's a lack of that field also. So I think that problem is very huge, and we need to solve it in a very different aspects and fields. Thank you, Dr. Heike.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rabia, for taking the discussion further and also pointing out the responsibilities of families and also of students for themselves. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Madhu Gupta, our dear friend and supporter. He's been a lecturer in our team, who's a chemist from India. Very much welcome, and thank you very much for always being an active part of our activity. What are your conclusions? How did you reflect on the discussion coming from a different other context?
Thank you, Dr. Heike. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Madhu Gupta, professor in chemistry from CCS University, India. I earned my MSc and doctorate degree in chemistry with specialization in analytical and physical chemistry. I was recipient of gold medal for overall topper in MSc and silver medal for best candidate in analytical chemistry. Several research projects has been done under me, and I am a recipient of various research scholarships from MHRD government. I have more than 35 papers published in Scopus or various international journals, and I have guided 12 students who got the PhD under my guidance. I have presented several research papers in national and international conferences. My special interest of research is drug design, toxicology, and environmental pollution. Now, I will speak about something about the projects. As I feel, the student should not be, our education policy should not be a rigid. We all have a rigid policy that the art students only learns art subject, the science student has to study only the science subjects. There should be a flexibility. Some of the papers should be major, that should be of their own interest or own field, that is science, arts, or commerce. Let it be. And two papers should be minor, that should be from other branch. The student can opt that subject from other branches, maybe engineering, maybe law, maybe management, so it can develop its skills in other part also. Because suppose it is a chemistry person, but he don't know computer, so he will not get the job, because in many subjects you need computer knowledge also. So he can opt the computer subject also. This is my first point. Second, your this policy, our education policies will be like this, that there should be a bank of credit. Bank of credit means, suppose student is completing his graduation in 3 years or 4 years. Each year he should given a credit marks, and that credit marks should be added in its digital bank credit account. That should not be go waste, because most of the students, sometimes they have some problems in their family, they have to go for the job, they have to left their studies in between, so their study should not be go in waste. That credit should be given. Suppose he has completed 1 year, he should be given this certificate course. For 2 years, we should give a degree course or some other. And in the 1 year, we should have our research project should be there. That research project should be job oriented. It should be connected with some industry. The student is allowed to go to that industry. He has to take that, he has to work there, he has to submit the report, what he has done. So he will be skilled in that part, and he will get a job in that type of industries. Third point, I will like to mention that there should be inter-exchange programs with foreign universities. Our teachers should be the teachers from other universities should come to our university, and our university teachers should go there, and same for the students, so they will learn more about it. Fourth point, I will like to say that there should not be a single language. At least there should be 2 or 3 languages for every graduate students, because that language problem, as I found in Iraq, there is language problem also. Most of the students, they speak in Arabic only. That's why they are not getting the jobs. Now MNCs has opened everywhere in every country. They need the person who can communicate with other person in different countries. So either they should study English or one foreign language is compulsory for them. That should be introduced. And most of the point has been said here. Next point I would like to mention that there should be a single umbrella for, that is a government organization who will manage all the universities. The university should not be different managements. There should be an umbrella under the guidance of which all the universities should work. And that umbrella should have different panels, parallel panels. There should be a department to guide the syllabus. The other second should be an accreditation committee, national accreditation unit, that will accredit the different colleges, what is their performance, how they are working. So they will all will work hard. And the third will be the granting loans for the universities, granting aids for the university according to their accreditation. As in the Harvard University and so many universities, colleges, they have become itself is a university. They have their own course. They have their good courses. So why not in Iraq? We should make our colleges like this, that they should have their own courses that should be of utility for economic development of the country, for the development of the students and all that. Now, I would like to say that students should start their own businesses. That is the best way. They can start with a very low level. Best is the agriculture, because the learned person, they know the grafting methods, different instruments which are very useful now, latest methods, latest germicides, insecticides, so they can grow the hybrid varieties that will be the production, the quality and quantity of the product will increase. They can export their item outside, and they can government should invite other universities to establish their own universities in Iraq, so that our students can go there, they work there, and they can gain much from them. And other points has already been discussed, so I need not to, but I want to say something about our participants also. Dear participants, we are glad that you have participated in conference entitled Unemployment Crisis in Iraq. Thank you everyone for completing the project in scheduled time. I appreciate that everyone displayed under such strenuous conditions, which made the workflow simple and easy. Thanks for supporting our event by attending and contributing your innovative ideas. Your hard work and marking closely to mark this function with success. I am glad that uh, I have team like you. Looking forward to new projects. Lastly, I wish you all may come with flying colors and university may get recognition worldwide. Last and but not the least, I would like to thank Dr. Heike, Felix, and other organizing and steering committee member for organizing such a wonderful, interesting, and useful conference successfully. This was a very tedious job. It was not an easy job to conduct such a conference at such a large scale, that is especially a student conference, having so many participants. You have devoted your much time, your coordination was there. So we will be able to conduct our classes there for the students. Your conference has been a great success in all possible respects. I hope you continue the series and I wish you all the best with that. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, dear Professor. I think it's always excellent also to have suggestion expertise from other countries. I'm getting a little bit worried about time, as now just being praised for the organization of the conference. I'm inviting Dr. Hiba
for giving me so much time.
Welcome. So I'm inviting Dr. Hiba, if you could, and Dr. Hiba, it's always difficult to be at the end of the list. I'm gladly hearing your conclusions and your comments, but please also, we are also wanting to give the words to students, so don't take up all the time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy and very glad to participate to this conference. Actually, I supervised 60 students from different universities and colleges. 8 of them today, they shared their ideas with us in the final conference today. And this refers that the necessity of such as this conference, and we have to help like this conference usually, not often, because we found that there is big or huge ideas the students have it, and the students' idea were such as graphic design, websites, establishing a company, Betiku University, busing services, community work helps in reducing unemployment crisis, beekeeping at home, website that supports dental students in their future works, etc. Some of them already started working and they will contain working after graduation also. From my place, I will give them all my advices and supports, and asking you to support them also. Our students have a big energy, and we need to know how to award it in the correct ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hiba. Especially many thanks to you for motivating so many students and also for working with such a large number of students and all inspiring them to come up with great ideas and projects to present today. We are very grateful for all your times and efforts you're putting into this.
You are welcome.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Tahani, the last lecturer to reflect on the conference today. The floor is yours. Ms. Tahani with us?
You have to unmute yourself. Tahani, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
We are hearing you. Yeah.
Thank you, Heike, for inviting me to speak a little bit about this conference and give some statement. I am not going to speak long, actually, because I know everyone get tired after a long day of this presentation. Just I am going to give a bit announcement. First, I'd like to thank everyone of my group who shared their ideas with you today. Especially their ideas based on our own situation, circumstances, and learning. So they keep thinking what our community need, what is currently much need in our community to need to change. Especially all these ideas we suggested based aimed at one goal, which is providing job opportunities after graduation, or what the labor market needs. All students, they start work together to create for creation in new cultures and find the jobs away from government employment. Also, they started inspire together to create joint venture among them to increase the speed of completion. Especially some of the ideas we talk about it doesn't need actually a big income. It may be started from a small lab, as we said, and most of them related to our subject. Just we need to put what we learn into practice, and won't be a big dream in the future. And hope everyone be well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before now we are moving to invite the students to have the final words and conclusion, I just received the message that Dr. Muneer is having other important professional duties and might need to leave us. So Dr. Muneer, is there any final words you would like to to share with us, speak with us before we are giving the words to the students to conclude the conference?
Also, let us to take photo with Dr. Muneer before he leave.
Okay, so so the suggestion is to take a group picture now, and then to move to the student conclusions. I'm a little bit concerned that this will make problems with the internet. Dr. Muneer, are you still with us? Possibly also having internet problem. If he comes, we'll give him the
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, hi.
We are nearly or almost finished. So Dr. Heike asking if you have the final words, and then we will have a photo session.
Okay.
And then we will have still for all the students to say whatever they want and close the conference.
Yeah, just I wanted to say many thanks for your effort, for the steering committee also, which they play a major role in this conference. I hope the student will be useful for them, for the future of them. And definitely University of Mosul is very, this suggestion after the Dr. Anwar, they write to me, it will take a role in the university and also in the local government, even in the Ministry of the Higher Education. Many thanks for all.
Okay.
Yes.
So then thank you very much, Dr. Muneer. So then I'm inviting everyone now to open their camera, and Felix maybe to close the presentation for some time so that we can also take a final group picture all together. So we are taking several pictures because we are so many people, so just continue smiling and looking nice. And another time. Thank you very much. And everyone who got a nice picture, please share them with us in the Miro space, over Instagram, via Facebook, so that everyone can find the final group picture where he or she is looking the best, and put that on the wall. I would just like to say thanks again, Dr. Muneer, for being with us. Your support is highly appreciated. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to know what we are discussing is being heard also by the university leadership, and that the voices of so many students are mattering. Thank you very much for all your support. And of course, you're still welcome to listen to us or also to leave us. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. So we are not done. So please, just because Dr. Muneer leaving us, please everyone else don't leave us, because now we're coming to the most important part of the conference, which is that we would like to give the last words and reflections on this conference to the students. So we identified from various groups some students who were brave enough to also share their reflection on this conference. And I must say I'm always extremely amazed by how fantastic students at Mosul universities are, to get the opportunity to meet so many inspiring young personalities. Before I invite students to speak, I just wanted to say to everyone that today in the panels we had even more female speakers than male speakers presenting the results of the group, which I think compared to our previous activities is a big encouragement, and more also ladies speaking up and inspiring up and making sure also that the voices of women are heard in this conference. And must also say that I always appreciate that also students coming from minority groups and disadvantaged communities are also part of our conferences and making their voices and perspectives heard. And I would just like to thank everyone for taking their time and being part of this conference. I know it's also exam time for many students, so even more congratulations to everyone. Now it's the time of the students to have the last voice. So, and I would like to invite the first student speaker of today, which is Navas. Welcome.
Yes, Derek, thank you very much. Actually, today I'm very pleasure. It is my graduation party. I'm also participating in this event at the meantime. It's a great pleasure for me, and I'm very grateful to say a few words at the end of this conference. In fact, at this time we all have joined forces in organizing such a conference to allow students put their ideas to tackle unemployment crisis. I'd like to express my warmest thanks to the organizers who contributed to making the event successful and effective. Also thanks to our supervisors and our dears, the supervisor of our groups, EN05, Mr. Raed and Mrs. Ravia, for their great efforts, on managing the class and the conducting the meeting along with the preparation and discussion of our ideas in the best way. I wish good luck for all students and for our lecturers who supervised and did their best to let the benefit access to all students and to discuss their ideas and to hear from them how to decrease the crisis of employment and of students. We wish to this event not be the last one, and there will be more and more like this event. Thank you again for you, Mr. Heike, and for all attendance. And this is the end of my words. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations on your graduations also. And also many thanks. Nawaz have been one of the person who's been giving the RESI-Steering Committee some great advice on how we can not be so embarrassing on our social media presence. So thank you very much on advising us on how to get better in using Instagram and Facebook to to not to stand out, to reach more students and to reach more people to also be informed about our activity. Your support is highly appreciated.
Sure,
I would like to invite the next student speaker, Shaka. Welcome.
Not Shakir, Doctor, not Shakir. I sent to Mr. Felix to replace Shakir with Zahra. So then please ask Zahra.
Zahra, please welcome.
زهراء. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. تحية طيبة للجميع. كما نعرف أن جميع المؤتمرات العلمية والعملية بها فائدة تنور عقول المستمع بمعلومات كان يجهلها، إلا أنه استوقفني مؤتمرنا هذا بما فيه من دلائل لواقعنا اليوم، وخاصة هناك فئة كبيرة من العراقيين يعانون من مشكلة البطالة ويشعرون في الغبن وضياع للطموح ومستقبل مجهول. وفعلا وبكوني مشاركة في هذا المؤتمر استفدت من أفكار الأساتذة وتشجيعهم لنا للنهوض والسعي وعدم الاعتماد على وظائف الدولة فقط، بل التفكير لإنشاء مشاريع صغيرة والبدء بها. وأشكر زملائي أيضا على أفكارهم المتنوعة وحلولهم المفيدة لمواجهة مشكلة البطالة، وأخص بذلك الدكتور فوزي الذي استمع إلى جميع أفكارنا بإنصات ومناقشتها، وقد كان هناك تغطية شبه كاملة في مؤتمرنا هذا لطالما نروم لتحقيقها في العراق، لزرع روح التفاؤل والأمل بغد أفضل من أجل العراق أفضل للجميع. وفي النهاية بالنيابة عني وعن زملائي أتقدم بالشكر للجانب الألماني لاهتمامه بمشكلة البطالة والمتمثل بالدكتورة هايك والسيد فيليكس، وشكرا.
Actually, I will translate for her for 2 minutes just. She say that she attend many many scientific conference and practical conference, but like this conference she did not saw or did not attend because it learned from our conference how to depend upon herself, especially when she entered the discussion with other student and with her teachers and learn from them how not to depend on the government in the job, and she has to go to search for the project or for the work in the private sector or depending on her own experience. She thanks all her students for their ideas. She thanks her teacher for their advising her and hearing from her, and she thanks also you and Mr. Felix in the end for thinking in their problem of Iraq of unemployment. This is a big thing from German sides to think in this type of problem. Thank you very much, she said.
Thank you very much. Then I would like to invite the next speaker, Shifa, with us. What are your final conclusions, takeaway messages from this conference?
Yes, Ibrahim, I'm here. Welcome to everyone again. I am so thankful about this chance to talk again. The Dr. Muneer mentioned that the graduate of the university is not to get the job, and in real is not to get the adequate explanation in expansion. But it is to just to get the degree, not more. And we should we would think to solution about some idea to solution the employment and poverty in Iraq, and one of them opening a workshop and writing and opening a workshops of a pupil, and anyone have the more anyone have a small project, we should separate it here, and the action account of the project must be developed by the specialist pupil, and the separated graphic pupil in a group function, and the design and the small package should be develop. Thanks for listening, and thanks for everyone listening.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite Dalal.
Actually, Dalal, she leave us because she have a lecture. She is a PhD student. And she said to me, she said to me that she want to thanks all the people who work there, do their effort in this program and this conference, and to thank you and to thank Mr. Felix and other people, because she is from my group, and she has one idea. She say, I afraid that this idea not reach because it is not deal with the unemployment. She has idea that every home in the Mosul city and other Iraqi city, they have tanks of collecting water, and this tank have a lot of water, and this water in the summer become about 60 or 70 degrees centigrade. She have good idea, she actually to use this heating water to generate electricity, small electricity, which is enough for the with the home, sufficient for the providing the electricity to for one home. She say, I hope this idea also can able to reach the people, although it is not deal with the unemployment crisis, but at least it is useful. Maybe anyone can able to use this idea and make it useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fawzi. Then Aya, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us in this conference. It was a new and good experience for all students, I'm sure. And thank you to Mrs. Khawla, Mr. Talat, and Mr. Raed for so many great work and hard work. They work with us on our projects. It is not a secret that we are as students have some difficulties finding the right program and activities for our society. It is going to change our lives and people's lives on the short term and on the long term. The way the program work and on the technical equipment, it was very hard. As you see, we used a camera to provide our project idea. It was hard to have some pictures because of the pandemic, And finally, we have our idea. What I learned from this new experience for me is I shouldn't always count on the governmental employment. I should start my own career and my own work in this life. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aya. And I would like to give the word also to Mohammed, who's one of our hybrid students, graduate from Mosul University, now at Graz University. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you all. I would like to say some words to the students and to the professors, and I hope these words will find their ways to the students, especially the young ones of them. Please, when you aim for the highest star you could reach, even if you will not reach it, aim for it. I would like to see people from Iraq, especially from my city, here in Austria, in Germany, not as refugees as I came originally, but as students. I see people from India, I see people from Egyptian, and they don't come with internship. They did it themselves. Switch please from Russia and Ukraine. Those people are coming here to Europe to study here. So why should we go to them and study at their countries? I would like to take the science from the best. Take it from here, aim for it. It's not impossible, it is possible. It is really indeed possible. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. I would also like to invite 3 people before we are closing the conference. The one is Professor Samad, who's been our keynote speaker as the starting of the event. If you have some final conclusions for our conference, I would also like to invite Professor Gruehn to say some few words, and I would also like to invite then at the end Dr. Anwar as a representative for the steering committee to close the conference for us.
Thank you, Dr. Heike. Dr. Heike?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations for this very, very big work, It's something interesting to hear all our students with their good interest, with their hobbies, with their looking for their futures, But only I have one question. I listen all the conference from this morning. Only I have one big question. That is, each projects proposed by the participant, how many jobs could be created by that project? We don't talk about 1 or 2 or 10 problems or 10 unemployed. We talk about millions of unemployed. So I hope everyone participates. Just put number of how many jobs could be created by his project. It's very, very good work. Thank you for all of you, and I hope always your conference will be like that. Thank you very much.
Professor Gruehn.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me another time the opportunity to say some words. I'm really overwhelmed about the results of the conference, and I very much appreciate to hear that it could be managed to create such an enthusiasm among the students and the teachers in a situation which is not very, very easy. So I think that is a very good thing that science and universities can be used to create future perspectives. And this is in fact a point which is connected to the question we just have heard, how many jobs could be created? I think when you look back, when the first automobiles were created and developed, or when the first vaccines were created, or when the first whatever was created, mostly in universities or in cooperation with university, nobody knew how much workforce could be created there. So what we need is a kind of fundamental science from the university to better understand things which are happening, which are going on. That also includes, for sure, social science aspects, planning aspects, environmental aspects, and so on. But I think when it is possible to create a broader knowledge and a perspective for universities, for their role in society, and I'm pretty sure this conference, that is what I feel and what I hear, was a major contribution to this fact, then it will be able that university will become a leader in the country to create new ideas and new perspectives. The same has been done in German history many hundred years ago, that very clever leaders in the policy fields saw that you need universities to create knowledge, to create science, and to go ahead, and that these communities then can create new perspectives for the whole society. And I hope that this conference, and I'm sure that this conference did so, was able to create this new spirit, And I also hope that we are able to continue with these ideas, with this cooperation, with a successful cooperation. And in this sense, I say thank you, all of you who contributed to this very valuable discussion and to this very valuable results of the conference. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor Gruehn, for your kind words and also for giving a broader perspective to what happened today and over the last months. Professor Anwar.
Thank you very much. It was a long day, and the electricity is celebrating with us also. And we got students from different universities in Iraq, and even from University of Graz, we got students, and lecturers from Austria, Germany, Iraq, and India. This is the first time of cooperation, of such a kind of cooperation. A lot of ideas presented. People here discussed, and we are all share our thoughts. So thank you very much for all. It was a very long day, and we wish we came into something, and we managed to explain and find solutions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Heike. Thank you, Dr. Gruehn. Thank you, Mr. Felix. Also, we're having with us Dr. Hassan from Germany. Thank you for all the participants. Thank you for the steering committee. Without them, this event won't be happened, of course, with the help of Dr. Heike and Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix behind the keyboard for the whole day. And thank you for the students. Thank you for sharing us your ideas. Thank you very much, and hope we will meet again in next activity. Thank you.
Yeah. So then I think it's on me to close the conference. Before we do that, allow me to advertise our next activities. You all know the results from this conference. They'll be documented on our conference space and platform. We'll also create a document. We'll all create a document we'll be going to be summarizing the main ideas and the discussion as of today. And of course, then you're all invited to contribute to make sure your ideas are well represented in that documentation. And we'll be very happy if you are contributing also to that documentation process. What I saw from your feedbacks today is that many thought this conference was well organized. I'm sure there are opportunities for improvement, and I posted the link to the Mentimeter board, which will be open for a little bit more. If you have feedback and suggestions for improvement and how can we do a better job next time, we can only learn from what people tell us. So please feel invited to also share your reflections and suggestions for improvement with us. As you may know, we are having an art competition still open. And what you may not know is that we have organized that some of this artwork can be presented in the city center of Graz in July. So if now after the exam, you are still excited to get creative, and the topic of that exhibitions will be visions for a sustainable reconstruction of Mosul. So if now after exams you have some time and you are inspired and you want to get creative, there's still some time over the next week to submit your artwork. It will be exhibited in an open conference space in the city center of Graz, and after that also at TU Dortmund University. So we are still looking for inspiring artwork. Please feel gladly invited. We are hoping to organize another conference at the end of the year. If you have suggestions for topics, also very welcome. We are hoping to do that, coming all together again and not having to do that in a physical space. And also, as you know, if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or also you follow on our website, you will also hear and see the other events which we are organizing. Some of the events are for lecturers, but students as listeners who want to learn are always welcome. All of our activities are inclusive. Everyone who wants to join and gets heads together and share and exchange knowledge and discuss with other people is always welcome. So I'd be very happy if we see you in one of our other activities again. I think I can speak from the steering committee and from every lecture and everyone who was here. It's always such a pleasure to meet you, to work with you. It's always inspiring to exchange and discuss with you. And thank you very much for all being patient and open to always participate in all these new experiments we are all doing together. I cannot express how grateful I am for knowing, for feeling your enthusiasm and all your hard work you are putting into our joint activity.
Hello,
Thank you
Prof.
very much
Heike. Thanks indeed. Highly thankful to you and your teams. We are so proud of your success. It was informative and a great conference. I wish you a good luck. Thanks indeed. And thanks indeed for all of the team and all participants in this conference.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed. Thank you all. Some of us have been in front of the computers for 8 hours now. I wish you a refreshing evening and nice gymnastics to get your body together. It was such a fantastic day with you. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
See you. Have a good night.